Hi, everybody, and welcome to week 5 of EDC 420. This week, we are going to be diving into a topic that is near and dear to my heart because it is a lens through which I think about language acquisition. We're going to be talking about sociocultural theories and the sociocultural turn in SLA. We're going to begin by talking a little bit about what sociocultural theory is, so providing some initial definitions, and then we're going to dive right into how these perspectives have impacted the field of SLA. So around the 1980s and 1990s, these ideas really began to take hold in the field of education more broadly, and then specifically in the field of second language acquisition. So you're going to be engaging with these ideas through a few readings for this week. We're going to start with a reading from Maggie Hawkins, which she wrote, published in 2004. And she was really trying to kind of bring a lot of these ideas to the forefront of the way that we think about language learning. From there, you're going to have the special treat of reading one of my articles, an article that I wrote from a study I did after I spent a year in a second grade 2A immersion classroom looking at students' identity through the lens of investment. So you'll have a chance to dive into that and think a little bit more about the role that identity plays in shaping students' language learning and opportunities for language learning. And then finally, we'll move to a chapter from Brown's text focused on language, culture, and identity, where he'll revisit some of the concepts in the first two articles, and then also take us a bit more deeply into the notion of what is culture and how does culture shape language and language learning. So those are our main readings. You'll notice that under each of the chapters, or each of the texts, I have put some key concepts that I want you to focus on and be able to explain and define. I've also created a graphic organizer that you can use to write down the definitions as you encounter them. All of these are great concepts you can use for your case study as you're analyzing the learner and then analyzing the learner in a learning context. So they'll be useful for you as you move into that stage of the assignment. Finally, there is a lecture video where I've synthesized some of the concepts for you and explained them in a bit more depth, and a video about connecting with families and communities, because if we adopt a sociocultural perspective on second language acquisition, then we need to think about the learner beyond what's happening in their mind and in terms of what's happening in their world. And that includes the world of school, but also the world outside of school. So there's a brief video to think about what it means to be a partner with families of MLLs. From there, we move to the discussion board. There's some questions for you to engage with and to respond to your peers about. You have another praxis quiz building upon some of the concepts from this week. And then finally, for this week, I encourage you to schedule your language learner interview if you haven't already, and to build out the tools that you're going to use, whether it's a survey or an interview protocol, so a series of interview questions, whatever kind of information gathering tool you want to use. Have that ready to go, schedule that interview or that conversation so that you can begin to gather some data for your learner. And as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me via email or to post a question in our general discussion forum for Q&A. And I look forward to engaging with you in this week's content.